Hello, welcome to today's video. My name is Nagri, and today we are going to look at the space between thoughts and things. Okay, so before I go into today's video, I had an experience with somebody yesterday. I was having a conversation with the person, and the person was asking me the usefulness of understanding space. Like, after introducing the concepts to the person, even though the person doesn't is not a meditator, uh, he had his mind blown away, but at the same time it was still logical to ask the question, how does this help us in our day-to-day activities? And I appreciated that question because at the end of the day, that is my own plight. My own plight is that whatever spiritual knowledge that you are learning must be able to at least do something for you right now in this moment, not waiting for something to happen in the future, but to help make this present moment, more livable. Okay? How does the knowledge of the space help us? Well, this is my answer. It is intelligent. It's just an intelligent move to know where you are. Okay? Now, we know that we are. You may not know where you are, what you are, uh, where you came from, where you're going to. You, know, you may not know all those things, but at least everybody knows that they are. Everybody knows that they are. I know that I am. You know that you are. Everybody can say I am, which is like the foundation of reality. If there is no knowing that I am, then there is nothing else. There is nothing else. So take for example a baby who doesn't yet a baby who doesn't yet know that they are aware that they are. Okay, so there's really nothing else to do. Or somebody who has, well, it's very impossible to use an example of grown-ups, because no matter what happens to a grown-up, at least they know that they are. Even if the grown-up has lost all their memories of everything, but they can still attest to the fact that they are. Now, knowing this, having this knowledge that I am, is already stabilized. The foundation is already there. There is not taking that away from anybody. You might wipe off my memory, you might move me to a location that I'm not aware of. You may do anything to me. You may even kill my body, but you cannot take away the knowledge that I exist. Right? I am. And so everybody can say that. The next intelligent thing after realizing that I am is to know where you are. Where am I? Where am I? That's just the next intelligent question. Now, this question, where am I, has been answered by the society. Okay? Your parent has answered it, the government has answered it, the school has answered it. Friends, family, events. Basically, the matrix outside, the activities of the outside world, um, triangulate events and locations so that individuals inside of that triangulation can answer the question, where am I? But a person who allows themselves to return back to that fabric of the I am knowledge. Now, there is the I am, yes. Then there is where am I, or where I am, or what I am. So the other questions, okay? The best way to answer the question, where am I, is to get the answer from where the knowledge of your I am is coming from. This knowledge is foundational. This knowledge is foundational, it's not shaking. Nothing can shake it, right? No devil, no God, nothing can shake. You just are, right? Now, to know where you are, it just makes sense to return back here to see if you can get clues. If you don't return back here to get your clues, this question will be answered by the outside world. This question will be answered by the outside world, and of course the outside world will give you a reply that is useful for limitation and manipulation. For example, people believe that they are Americans, they are Brazilians, they are Chinese, they are Africans, they are Black Americans. That question falls under what am I? Sorry. So what I was going to say is that people believe that they are in some particular country, they're in a particular country, they're in a particular state, they're in a particular location. If I call you and say, where are you? You'll tell me, oh, I'm here, based on the geographical location that you are. Which is useful. It's useful for limitation and manipulation. The powers that understand reality can create a sort of manipulative environment if your answer is coming from the outside world. So how do you answer the question, where am I right now? How do you answer it well? How do you answer it in a way that gives sovereignty to self? Right? It's very simple. We go back here. We return back to the knowledge of self. The I am is foundational. It is the knowledge of self. Because even though the matrix has given us answers about our location, the matrix is not the real deal. The matrix is not reality. We also have to look back to reality to find out where we are. These things are foundational. I believe strongly. So, when you listen to spiritual teachers right now, they talk about very specific things. Like, the reason why I started teaching, right, is because I got bored with the things spiritual teachers they talk about, because everybody is kind of saying the same thing, and it's okay, it's actually all right. It helps people, but then you have to move past that, right? You have to move past all that there's so many topics, okay, into deeper understanding of reality. Okay, and I believe that answering these questions correctly give us a deeper understanding of reality. And when we have a deeper understanding of reality, we'll be able to know what our purpose is. If we borrow our knowledge of where of our location or what we are from the outside world, we will not experience the sovereignty or the joy that we feel like we deserve effectively. Because again, the reason why the outside world answers these questions for each and everybody is so that they can limit them or manipulate them. So now let's go to the topic for today: the space between thoughts and things. The topic would expatiate on space. This channel is all about space. So the topic will expatiate on space, but at the same time, it will help in answering the question, where am I? Where am I? Because the truth is that we don't know where we are. Nobody knows where we are. I don't know where I am. Nobody knows where they are. We've just been enjoying triangulation. Okay? What does that mean? Say I am in this center right here, okay? And this point here has been called Europe. Okay? So that point has been called Europe. This point has been called Russia. Right? And say this point has been called Egypt. This point has been called Egypt, this point has been called Europe, this point has been called Russia. So based on this triangulation, I can say, okay, this is where I am. Right? But if you understand the nature of space and its unlimited, its unlimited vastness, then you will know that this is just useful for limitation. It's just useful for limitation. Right? At some point in meditation, if you are somebody who meditates, at some point in meditation, you can get to a point where your physical body becomes unfamiliar. Your physical body becomes like a stranger to you. You literally feel like you are wearing a stranger's body, because you know you are as awareness, as pure awareness. And this pure awareness is an everlasting awareness. Everlasting awareness. What does that mean? It means it has been. It has been, and it's going to be. It's not even, we can say it's going to be, because awareness becomes more intelligent as it expands. So this awareness has been everlasting, from everlasting to everlasting. And what that means is that if awareness, say awareness is infinity, right? Everlasting to everlasting. And it has been, and let's say this little part is the human experience. This little part in its infinite state is the human experience. Please don't mind that gap is really big, because the human experience is very in the twinkle of an eye, that's come and gone. It's over. Yeah. But we can't feel it that way, because we wake up every morning, go to work, go back home, go to your loved ones, do some few things, wake up the next day. They see people living for 70 years, 80 years. But in the presence of awareness, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years feels like an instant. Now, without dying, if you can return back to this awareness, then your human experience it feels strange. It feels strange. your human experience or your human avatar becomes like, it feels like a stranger because you have returned back to your real self, right? And it, the human experience now feeling like a stranger, uh, has it has nothing to offer you when it comes to where you are or what you are. You can't even use the human experience for definition at all because it is inconsequential to the awareness that you are, right? But while we are still deeply invested in the human experience, we can't answer the question effectively, where we are. But at least we can start moving on the journey. We can we can start the car and be on the journey to investigate our location, okay, in infinity. All right. So one of the ways to do this investigating is to investigate the space between our thoughts and our things, because these are things we engage with every day. All right. My drawing is terrible. Anyway, so just manage it. So this is awareness. Okay. Awareness is not localized, mind you. It's just a way to express it. It's just a symbolic expression of the of our experience. So when we think of awareness, we experience awareness as an inward experience. That is, inside here there is a sensation of knowing. Okay, and so we are calling that awareness, and it feels like inside, but in reality it's everything, it's everywhere. It's not localized, it's everything. But don't let us get too lost. Okay, so let's just keep it as this. So we have the awareness, and then we have our thoughts. Then we have the outside world where things are. This is I don't know what that is. A signboard. That's a sign, and this is like a road, and this is a house and a human. So this, I drew this on purpose this way because the human is supposed to be a giant. It's supposed to be a giant, right? Now, if you are paying attention to the space in the present moment, you will notice that the space is superimposed, okay? Is superimposed on things. What that means is that the space is not appearing independent of itself. There is no point, if you are paying attention to the space in the present moment, you cannot look at a point in space and single it out. What I'm saying is that you cannot separate the space, the invisible vibration, the invisible frequency. You cannot separate it from the things inside of it, from matter inside of it. There is always a background of matter around the space in the present moment. Whether you're looking up at the sky, or you're looking down, or you're just looking forward, wherever it is that you're looking at, there is no separation between the spatial presence and the things that it contains. This way, this phenomenon is exactly what happens in our mind, in our thinking. So let's imagine I ask a question. This is a thought, and I ask this thought, I'm going to label this thought as where am I? Where am I? Okay. I mean, based on what we are talking about now, that's why I'm labeling this. So you can have different other thoughts, yeah? You can have different other thoughts. Now, the normal thing to do as a normal human being is when the question arises, where am I? That is the only thing that the eye focuses on. The eye of awareness focuses on that thought alone. Where am I? Hoping to get an answer or sort. Now, this question doesn't have to be where am I. It can be anything. It doesn't even have to be a question. It can be an experience, an event, something happened yesterday. You're planning for something tomorrow, whatever it is, the thought arises either ways. Now, when that thought arises, every other thing becomes irrelevant. There's no thinking. I mean, so we have all this space here because this guy, my cartoon character, is a very interesting meditator. He meditates all the time. Okay, so he has enough space to hear individual thoughts. In some cases, in some heads, some people's heads are like this. Some people's heads are like this, filled with all manners of things. So somebody like this cannot even see the outside world clearly, right? Because the eyes that is seen needs space to be able to interpret what is seen in a way that is most representing of what of the reality of those things, right? The space is needed for that. But when the whole place is completely occupied, where there is no space at all, then the person would not be able to interpret clearly what reality is. And if you cannot interpret clearly what reality is, you cannot know where you are. And it is important to know where you are, because anybody who wants to return to power must know where they are. A king who left his kingdom and went into the bush and into the jungle and became an animal and ate the way animals eat, fight the way animals fight, um, do all the things like the way animals do. But this guy doesn't know he's a king, right? He has forgotten who he is. He has forgotten where he is. He has forgotten so many things. But if he is going to return back to his throne, and return back to his kingdom, he has to know where he is. He has to know that, okay, right now I am in the jungle and I have to move back from where I came from, to where I came from. And in order for that to happen, in this case, space is needed, right? Now, the space in between thoughts, right, is the same space in between things. Is the same exact space in between things. I'm going to say that again. The space in between our thoughts is the same exact space in between things. Is the same space. The same intelligent space. But if you investigate, it doesn't seem that way, right? It doesn't seem that way. It feels like a complete, it feels like two different realities. Because, I mean, there's so many factors into that, and it's going to take more than just one video to talk about it. But let's just stop there, okay? So we'll say that the space in here is the same space as in here, out here, and that when you want to find out important things about reality, about existence, space is needed. Just the way when you plan to move from your house to the office, you need that awareness. You need that spatial awareness to know that, okay, I'm still in the house. I have to get out of the house. I have to move into my car. I have to drive to work, right? And I have to drive to that location, to that particular location. It's the same way with what is going on here. But a normal human has his head filled up with all sorts of things and is unable to concentrate to know what they are, where they are. Doesn't know much. Okay. Now, how do you increase the space here? There is only one way, right? So, and that way is just to be silent, right? Is to be silent. The space in the mind and the space outside of the mind, that is not correct, but we'll manage it. So the space in the mind and the space outside the mind are the same thing. Just as the space is not independent of matter in the outside world, the space inside is not independent of thought. It is always merged with thought. It takes the disciplined mind the one who is careful to to investigate awareness, to be able to look at it, to be able to watch it. Just as it was almost impossible for you to see the space in your present moment if somebody had not come to tell you. Okay, so because you're not thinking about it, you're not looking out for it, you're you're not paying attention to it in any way or sense. Okay, it is not part of our experience because nobody teaches anybody anything, even though it is like the very important thing to be taught. So just as somebody had to come into your awareness to say, hey, look at the space in your present moment, and then really look at it and see how infinite it is, see how vast it is, see how even though it is here, it is also everywhere else, and that everything is just like a summary. Your experience, your own personal experience, is a summary of what is going on in the grand scheme of things, in the universal cosmic spatial awareness. If the universe can bring all what is going on into a limited view, it can it can merge everything to a limited position, to a limited perception, then that will be your experience, that will be my experience, right? So the space needs to be noticed. And how do you notice it? There's only one way to notice it, and that is through meditation. And the meditation is not about sitting down and closing your eyes and all that. You can meditate. That type of meditation is very important. Nothing is going to take that kind of meditation away. Okay? It's very important. But there are also other types of meditation where you can just remain silent. For example, if you are so quick to answer questions, you're so quick to judge, you're so quick to, to comment, to say one or two things about things that you are not even aware of, you don't really know anything about, okay? Then you're not paying attention, you're not allowing yourself to meditate. A, a, a being of awareness is a being of silence. Is such a being is always in a state of receptivity, is always allowing things to come in. He's hardly talking, he's hardly making judgment, he's hardly condemning, but he's absorbing everything and ensuring that his silence is strong and firm, right? Because the silence around things and the silence around thoughts are muscles. The silence in our present moment is like a muscle. The space in the present moment is like a muscle. That is where we get our experience of veins and muscles and all that. Because where we are is a muscle inside the being, the infinite being, the infinite cosmic being. It's a muscle. Okay? So you can train that muscle just the way a person goes to the gym and train his muscle. You can train that muscle to become stronger, right? Through paying attention more to the space in between your thoughts. Okay? As you pay attention to the space between your thoughts, and as you continue to pay attention to the space between things, what happens is that there is clarity about who you are, where you are, what you are, right? So there will be clarity. You're not going to move based on what the collective suggests. You're going to move based on what you came here for, what you personally came here for. All right? So allow yourself to simply notice. The way you notice the space in the present moment without 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 any concept, one should be able to notice the space between thoughts. So just notice that silence between thoughts without concept. And another thing is that there is no limit to the space, to the silence that can be felt in here. There is absolutely no limit. No matter how vast this space is, no matter how vast it is, even to the point where this guy is observing the sun, no matter how vast it is merely a point. It is merely a point in the presence of awareness. It's just a point. All the vastness of space and how NASA describe it, in the presence of that infinite cosmic being. It's just a point. That being, awareness, sees everything as a point. And so let's call our universe universe A12. Let's say that there are 13 trillion other universes like that, observable universe from their different localities. That means, so we are calling our own universe A12 because we are on Earth, looking at the observable universe through NASA's telescope and all that. So imagine some other universe away from ours, completely away from ours, observing their own universe. So we have A12, A13, A14, and so on. All these universes, as great and mighty as they are in our own eyes, they are all points. They are points in the presence of that awareness. The awareness, the thing inside of me and you that knows that I am, there is nothing to say. There is no way to describe it effectively. You just have to have the experience. And the experience doesn't come, unless there is grace, it doesn't come instantly. It comes through meditation. So what can you do right now? You can start to reduce your thought patterns to accommodate the space in the present moment. When the space is more clear, then your purpose, your priority, the reason why you are here becomes more clear. So I hope that helps. So thank you for watching. If this has helped, please give it a like, give the video a like, and share. And I'll see you in the next video.